Howdy friends, welcome to the Eclectic Sam YouTube channel and welcome to my eclectic corner of YouTube. Today is an exciting day for me because this is our first of many, hopefully, travel videos. I'm here at the Northeast Georgia History Center, part of Brenau University in Gainesville, Georgia. And this is kind of a local museum to me. And I thought it would be neat to start out my destination videos of showing you my my area's history and so forth. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you subscribe so you can see our videos in the future. But as always, any of the videos that talking about my eclectic life, from eBay selling, reselling, thrifting, travel, stories, and history. But let's go inside and show you what it's all about here. From the start of North Georgia, these are the Indian artifacts, talking about the life of the Indians, things that they used. Look at the carvings on those pieces. It's beautiful. Indian arrowheads, bowls. And then we have different tools that they used. Axes, more arrowheads, some rocks, different other tools and ornaments. And of course, Georgians had a part in the American Revolution. Let you pause that and you can read that. Here's a neat little replica of the Liberty Bell that they have right here at the entrance. And then we have the clothing of the Cherokee Indians, clothes that they wore at the time. And in Georgia they did have the land lottery, so when settlers came over they could get their land. And one of the sad parts about the settlement of the United States, the removal of the Indians and the Trail of Tears. There's a little map showing where they went through. That's a sad part of our history. And after the land lottery, you started having people homestead here in Georgia. There's a nice old cabin photograph. Got your wood bowl there. It's a bread bowl. Look at that beautiful butter mold. It's a beautiful little carving on that. Have a musket. That's one of the major tools of the homesteaders that they used to protect their homes and also to hunt with. Beautiful loomed blanket there. And one part of Georgia, most people don't know, of course you had the gold rush in California, but there was also a gold rush in Georgia, predominantly in Dahlonega, Georgia. The Cherokee are known for their beautiful artwork, like these baskets here. Then there's a bow and arrow, similar to what they would have used back in the time, and a pipe. And here's some more tools of the homesteaders. They use these big two-man saws and different axes from what we normally are used to. And some other parts, some other tools that they use to pound in dirt and so forth, and muddle things to where they could use it to make stuff. And over here, I wonder what his name is. I'm gonna call him Wilbur. Hey, Wilbur. This dapper gentleman is out using his buggy to go out and do some selling. The wagon was very important, of course, during the time. because that's how people traveled. That's a real nice original wagon, has some beautiful painting on it there. Original pinstriping and all. That's a beautiful piece. And here we have Miller's General Store. This is a good representation of what the general store and post office and so forth would have looked like back in the day. Have a few candy jars there and some cabinets with their different wares for sale. It's really neat depiction. And of course it wouldn't be a Georgia museum without something representing Coca-Cola. Here's a nice 1930s Ford truck with the Coca-Cola painting on there. You know me, I've got to show the cars if they're in the area. One thing that Gainesville is known for is the train that came through here. It's the Gainesville Midland Railroad. And here's some historic items from the railroad. You got captain's hats and different lanterns and so forth. There's the original railroad, original trains. I actually have family members that helped build the train. That's pretty neat. There's the old bulletin board from the train depot. And then we come over here. General James Longstreet. He was a Confederate Civil War general. He retired into Gainesville area, and he had his hotel. It's one of the main hotels in the area at that time. Unfortunately, it burned down, but his home is still there, and it is a museum as well. We may go there at one time. Another hotel that was synonymous for this area was Saratoga of the South. It was a sulfur, the white sulfur place, and what it was known for was sulfur water or spring water that people drank that they felt like helped cure ailments. People would come from all around to go to drink from their sulfur water, and unfortunately it burned down as well. And here we have a representation of schools of the time. We have a Gainesville school sweater, Gainesville High School. Then we have a band uniform. And of course the women's dress of the day. Beautiful ornate dress. And Gainesville Junior College. And there's a nice uniform there. There's a cadet's uniform. This cadet's uniform is actually from Riverside Military Academy, which is here in Gainesville. It's one of the prominent military academies, high schools for boys. They may accept girls now, I'm not sure. But several notable military people have gone there. One that you might have heard of is Fidel Castro. Yep, he went there. And the dress is actually from Brenau College, which actually is where this museum is located. And here we have the prominent industry of our forefathers of North Georgia, moonshine. A lot of people don't realize that moonshine was what started NASCAR racing. Moonshiners would race their big hopped up cars that they used to move moonshine. But it was a big industry, legal or not, you know. It was something that people could make money off of. Here we have typical office equipment and a phone switchboard of the day back in the early 1900s. your vintage computer, or better known as a typewriter, and your adding machines. And then we get into items of the time that were typical for your home. Have the coffee pot there, little sewing machines and toasters, and a mixer. And then we have your washing machines. Of course, your most common washing machine was a washing board and a tub. Then they went to the agitator there, which was still manual, but it was washing machine, and you moved that little lever there and it kind of agitated the water and so forth. And then you had your dryer or wringer there. You see those wheels at the top. They would wring out the water, and then you could hang it up to dry. Now here's a little neat display of the country doctor of the day. He had his doctor bags, and his different utensils and so forth, and saddle. But there's more utensils. But this is the Downey Hospital that was here in Gainesville. It was the first hospital, and that's where my dad was born, actually. And then you have your typical nurse's uniform of back in the day. Of course, quite different from scrubs that they wear nowadays. And here's more medical equipment from the day. You have all your books and some medicines and saws and other neat things. Your cabinets and your tables and desk. And some x-rays there. Neat little diagrams up there of the skeletal system. Here's an aerial photograph in 1936. There was a major tornado that hit in Gainesville that actually leveled a good bit of the city. You see this major picture here, shows some of the devastation downtown. It was a very bad tornado of the day. Here's some stuff, some news articles and so forth of the time. That map there shows the path of the tornado going through the city. You have a statue that was destroyed at the time. Colonel C.C. Sanders. But look at that devastation. That had to be rough at the time. Here's some more photographs of the time. It shows the devastation. They've got a good video showing, so if you ever come here, stop and watch the video. I've seen it before, of the devastation. There's part of a building that was found. Here's a real neat area. They call it the Northeast Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. Of all the famous people in different sports, from baseball to football to golf and so forth, that have lived in Northeast Georgia. I'm not going to show you every single one of the pictures, but be a neat for if you're into sports to come in and read them and see who all was from this area. And here's a neat poster from World War II era of the people that served from Gainesville, Georgia, in the military. And right there is my great uncle, R.J. Edwards. Here's some more items from the World War II era. Ration books that they used to ration goods during the time. One thing that a lot of people don't know is The airport here in Gainesville during World War II was actually a naval air station. There's a map and pictures of it at the time and people that were stationed there and so forth. And then over here we have some more items from the era. And of course, you know, the bad part of the World War II. Neat old Army uniform there. One thing of Hall County, Gainesville, Georgia area that is predominantly known for is the poultry industry. Chickens are an important part of the community in this area. A lot of poultry processing and so forth. Here we have an old incubator. And then we have the Gainesville mills also that did processing of textiles, mill homes that were prominent of that time. Here we have a bale of cotton so you can see what cotton looks like. And there we have the mill schools and other things about the mills. Pretty neat industry. If you've ever seen a video of how they process cotton into fabric, it's pretty neat. Here we have a model of what's called the Buford Dam. The Buford Dam is what dams up the water for the man-made lake, Lake Lanier. Like I said, Lake Lanier is a man-made lake. It's very large, one of the largest man-made lakes there is. But it's very important to North Georgia for water, for recreation, and so forth. Here's an exhibition that I've seen before. Unfortunately, they're making room for a new exhibition, but it's of Ed Dodd. He was the creator of the Mark Trail cartoon, and this is his desk and so forth. A neat little part of history in my family. My great aunt actually lived on the same property that his cabin was on. Another prominent thing about North Georgia is the folk pottery of the day. I'm sure you've seen pictures of faith jugs and so forth, but folk pottery is real important for North Georgia. It was another industry back in the day. See, there's a faith jug there. At one time, we may go to the folk art museum that's nearby. I'll show y'all some of that. Here we have a representation of what a pottery barn would have looked like in the day. You have the table where they would turn the pottery. Different pieces there. Those are by the Metters family, which is one of the main families of the era. But this is a neat little representation of a pottery barn. Then we come over here and we see some more pottery. Beautiful large jugs there. Then we have some more stuff here. Different jugs. Face jugs. Pig and a little so forth. This is something that's very synonymous with pottery, is they made snakes. I really like these old pottery snakes. I wish I had one. But there's some more neat stuff. And a folk art painting there. One of the neat exhibitions that they have going right now is women's suffrage. About women fighting for the right to vote. Of course, a black dress was synonymous for that. We have here some more photos of women of the time. Fair Street School, which was the African American school at that time. We have more civil rights items. There you have a voters for women, sash, and some other items. Here we have an old blacksmith shed. This is right outside the museum. Let me take you inside and show you what it looks like in there. Here we have a typical blacksmith shed of the day. You have your fire there, and all the different tools that the blacksmith would have used. Some hanging up there. Beautiful old construction of the shed. There's the big anvil and other tools that they would have used in the day. Really neat to see this stuff. I believe at times they do have a blacksmith that comes in that demonstrates this stuff. Here we have an old cabin with a bell there. I believe this might have been a school at some time, but let's walk down and look at it here. Beautiful workmanship on this old schoolhouse. There is a ramp from the other side over there. I don't think I'm gonna walk around and walk into it, but you can get the idea of what it was. There's a fireplace in there and so forth. But good opportunity for you to come and see it for yourself so you can see the rest of it. Here's a little bit more information about the cabin out there, about the Indian White Path. It was actually his home. Then it was taken over by a family from the land lottery. And there's a better picture of it out there. Definitely come and check this out. It's a very nice piece of history. This is a new part of the museum that I haven't seen before. It's called the American Freedom Garden. If you see, it says the mission of the garden is to instill in every generation of love and devotion to America, and to develop a special appreciation to those responsible for our freedom. Let's walk around and look at it. Here's a part here talking about World War II. World War I missed that part. Next we have the Cold War, the Korean War, Vietnam, and the global wars and global terrorism. And in the center of the garden, we have all these statues here with the names of people that have given their lives and their families to our freedom. And it's very touching that in the middle of it they have children playing. It's almost like those people that have gone before are overlooking the future of the children. I love how they did that. They have nice little benches here where you can sit and enjoy the breeze. It's a nice day here in North Georgia. Well, that's about it for this video. My first trip out. Hear that truck in the background. But I'm glad I'm finally able to get out and do some traveling and visiting some museums, and hope to bring you some more videos like this in the near future. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. And as always, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it gives you the ability to see what's coming in the future. Plus, it helps me out. But until next time, my friends, I love you. Bye.